Hi everybody, it's Caressa. How are you guys doing again today? And I'm back with a picture I've drawn myself, and we're going to color this giant squid. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is, I don't know if I would call it atmospheric perspective or not, but just basically how things are affected by the atmosphere and how they're affected by what's in the atmosphere. So this is obviously an underwater scene, and I want to make the squid red. However, the color of the water is going to be blue, so it's going to affect the color of the squid. So imagine like we're holding a red ball under some blue water. That ball is not going to look like, here, let me show you. Like if I were to hold this color ball under blue water, it would not look like this. It would look much more purple. The blue would interfere with that. So I want to mimic that with my drawing. And it sounds really complicated, but it really isn't. All you really need to remember is this kind of color is going to become this kind of color. Now there are other things you can do, like you could make it a true muddy purpley color, but I'm just going to go with this color. I'm going to switch to this kind of a red because it's going to indicate that it's underwater and the blue is interfering with that bright red color. So let's get started. Enough rambling from me. Let's get started. I'm going to start with, actually, by the way, folks, I should probably tell you, I'm using my Derwent Inktense pencils, and I'm going to be using a colorless blender instead of water to blend them out. So anyway, I'm using Deep Indigo for the shadows. I know all this talk about like atmospheric perspective and stuff sounds really complicated and scary, but it's not. It's one of those things where it's like, it's scary, but sort of as you get into the rhythm of it, it becomes a little bit easier for you. I mean, there are times where I struggle with it. God knows I do, but my understanding of it has gotten better over the years. Okay, let me switch over to a lighter blue for some more shading here. Making sure I'm in frame, not just weirdly out of frame. Okay. I really like squid. Did you know that giant squid are real? For years, scientists have been like trying to figure out, oh my gosh, they're real. We know they're down there, and now they've got proof of it. It's pretty cool, huh? I've heard they're trying to raise one in captivity, but it's not working out. That's kind of sad. Oops, messed up there. Let me just take my eraser real quick. Get rid of that. I think its scientific name is called Architeuthis. I like giant squids. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm going to save the inside here, like where the suckers are, for something else. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that, okay? And it's going to have to do more with me explaining color and the whole, you know, blue interference here. Okay. Get out my slightly lighter blue. Pardon my hand for just cutting across here, but gotta do what I gotta do, I guess, to get the strokes in there. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to switch over to the color I actually want for the squid, which is this fuchsia. By the way, my blues were deep indigo for the darkest and sea blue for the lighter blue. I'm going to leave a little bit of space on the fins here so that I can just leave a little bit of highlight when I blend out. I really shouldn't be going in different directions when I'm coloring, but yeah. I don't want to, like I said, I kind of struggle with, like, I don't want to say waste your time, but I don't want to spend too long on something and have people be like, get on with it. So I try to, like, strike a happy balance. You can see that this red I'm choosing, this fuchsia rather, is red, but it's just got a lot of blue in it. So it does a lot of the work for me. That helps when you're picking a color palette that's underwater, is just remember that that blue is just going to change so much. And I just went outside the lines, and we're going to erase that. Sorry if me turning the page is a problem. It's just, it's far more comfortable for my hand this way. Okay. Now that would be the inside, so. Almost colored that one pink or fuchsia, but then I realized that's going to be the inside of the tentacle, so it would be left blank. Alrighty. Now, up here, a lot of squid, if you look at pictures of squid and cuttlefish, they have spots. I'm not sure that Architeuthis does, but I'm going to add some. Let's go back with our darker indigo. Just kind of put some squiggly indications here of like a texture. There we go. And now I'm going to use my brush pen, my, oh, what do we call this thing? Blender pen. And I'm just going to start blending it out. It's not doing a very good job, but I suppose we'll live. If this comes out streaky like this, don't worry about it. Just do a second layer. If you're using Inktense, I wouldn't worry about it because you can do a second layer. In fact, I'm going to switch over. Pardon me, guys, for reaching across. I'm going to switch over to a water brush because this blender pen is just not doing a very good job. It's just not. Still streaky, but it's not as bad as it was. Pardon me for the throat clearing. I hope this ends up looking okay. I'm a little worried about the streakiness on the mantle, although I really shouldn't be. I mean, you can just, like I said, do another layer, but do I really want to do another layer? I feel like that might be stretching what I should make you guys sit through. I might do another layer off screen and then come back and just tell you guys I did it. That way you ain't got to sit through it. Sorry, I'm snapping my fingers because my cat Joey's up to mischief. He knows better. He's fine. He's fine. We're all fine. Okay. Yeah, that's going to need a second layer of pink up here. But I'm going to do that off screen, and I'll come back to you later when we've done all that on the next episode. For this episode, let's just keep moving. So the eye I want to be yellow, but again, we've got that whole thing with the water, or the blue water influencing the color. So again, we're holding yellow under blue water, so it's going to make it green. So we're going to color the eye green. Okay. So another green here. Water brush. All right. So we've got this. Now, real quick, let's focus on the inside of the tentacles. Let's say I have this color, like this red. In fact, let's talk about this orange. Now, let's say I've got this orange and I'm like, okay, I'm holding it underwater and it makes like a browny, gross color. And it's like, oh, but I really, really want it to be orange. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to color it orange, and then we're going to add blue over top. And don't get me wrong, it'll still make that gross color, but it'll read like orange. It'll read better than if you just put it in as orange. Does that make... I know I'm not making a lot of sense, but it'll do a lot better than just putting it on orange and just being like, oh, here you go. Unless that's what your style is or what you're actually going for. I know I'm not making a lot of sense, and maybe that's... I don't know. I'm struggling to make sense when I talk about this, but these are things that, you know, it's taken me years to learn about in art school, so it's kind of difficult to convey it all in just a 20-minute video, you know what I mean? So, please cut me some slack on that one. So we've got our orange down, so this is the actual color of the tentacles that they would be out from under the water. Now we're going to take a blue. That is going to be our watercolor. Okay, the light blue. And we're going to color over it, just lightly. And you can kind of see, I don't know if you can really tell, but what it does is it knocks that color back and dulls it and makes it look like there almost is water over it. I don't know if you can see that properly from your vantage point in the camera. But just trust me, it's happening. Trust in me. Just wet that down real quick. You can see it's making a muddy brown color, but it's still orange. It's still that orange color. But it's not orange, you know? It's knocked back a bit. So it's more subtle. And it's not gonna... It's not gonna look like something's not right. Okay. Alright. Well, we've got a couple minutes left, so why don't we just chat while I color this squid's mantle back in. It might be good for folks to see, you know, what a second layer might look like anyway. Now this isn't completely dry. I would really recommend, especially if you're working on thinner paper, to really just let this dry thoroughly and then come back and do your second layer, because you could risk tearing up your paper. By the way, this is called the mantle of the squid. I don't know how many people know that. I'm just kind of a science dork, so I know that. I don't know if like normal people know that. Squeeze this water brush here. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's better. That's better. Alright, I'm also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to shade the eye a little bit. I'm going to take, let's see, not deep indigo, because it's a little too dark, I think. Where is my sea blue? Here it is. Sea blue. And I'm just going to come in, when you see like the whites of eyes, sometimes to add a little depth, it helps to just add a little bit of shadow. Just like that, where it's shaded, where it's shaded, or where you think there's going to be shadow. I'm just going to kind of add a little shading all around, because actually the shadow would be on the bottom, so I kind of messed up there, but the eye is kind of round and bulbous, so there's kind of shadow all the way around in different spots. Okay, so let's see. I think we're pretty good for right now. Let's stop here today, and then when we come back, we're going to color the rest of this. We're going to do the background, we're going to do the little treasure chest here, the coral and all that good stuff. And I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope you've been entertained. I hope you learned something, and I hope you stick around. Please like and subscribe. No pressure, but I hope you have a good day, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.